Hey everyone, this video I'm going to talk about the plastine welding kit I got. It's an 80 watt and it looks like this. It comes with a triangle soldering thing here, and what I did was I sanded this down because I didn't need that whole area of the triangle. So first, I'm going to talk about kind of some of the repairs I've done. Now, what you want to do is have the plastic at least 0.14 inches. As you can see, this turned out pretty good. But if you take a Sterilite thing, I just got done kind of doing a little bit of this, and it put some holes in it, and the thickness is about 0.06 inches. So that's really thin stuff. You're going to get it burning through, and that's where you'd use some of these fill-in rods. It's all welded together, but there's holes, and you just would use this rod and fill it in. Hopefully I can get to that. I'll show you a project I did with my recycling bin. As you can see, I got it pretty smooth and it's pretty solid, although right here, since they've been picking it up, it did kind of bust right here. There we go. But there was like several different places. As you can see, I drilled the hole to stop the crack from going any further, but it already traveled all the way down before I got this kit. All right, and this was pretty ugly. Let me see if you can see it. That was because the triangle on the insert is so wide, and that's why I kind of did what I did with grinding it down. So let me get to work here. I tried earlier, and you might want to tape this up before you actually use a soldering iron, but if you can stand and hold it, that's all right too. Here I did one earlier, one of my edited videos. One earlier video I did today, and not too much success here, but this is so worn and damaged. I did do kind of like a tack weld right here, and I kind of went up here, but you'll need these tack welds for just to get you going, and you'll need you can also use some wire mesh too, although I haven't needed to yet. So let's see if I can do a little bit here. All right, I'm just going to kind of work up, and what I'm doing is I'm pushing it in. This has been running for quite a long time because I haven't got my video quite together, but that's pretty much all it takes. And what I like about the thin insert there, that I cut off the sides, is that I can get kind of more of a precise, when I go back over it, it just kind of has a nicer look than a real wide bead. So here I would, this is so worn, this has been worn for years, so I don't know if this is really going to turn out real well. You try to get it as close as you can together. Oh, almost got myself there. All right. You kind of push it in a little bit, let her melt, and then I kind of do a little once over to make it look a little bit more pleasing to the eye. So I'm going to go ahead and start down here. As you can see, I'm just doing portions, because if I do it all in one bead, I'll have to wait for a long time for this to kind of, you know, solidify. So you can tell when you're doing this how far down into the plastic you're going. And then once you do that, just kind of either kind of come over it, make it look real nice. All right. And since I did this one first, I was able to kind of just go do the middle, and I can kind of take my hand off of it, and because it's it gave it what, about a minute or so to kind of cool. So that's basically just how you do it. You can also go on the inside if you want to make sure it's completely melted. Sometimes you don't get that far deep, so go on the other side. That'll be going the extra mile to finish that up and to make it more solid. So I'll just go through kind of my normal routine. I follow the crack up to right where it stops, and then I drill the hole, and that'll stop the crack. And this piece is already kind of worn out, so this won't take too much to get this going. You can also use a regular soldering iron with the real small tip. Now, see, that kind of moved on me. So I'm just kind of... You can use the smaller tip on smaller thickness of material. This is pretty thick stuff, so you don't really need the small. There, kind of like that. Oh, and I recommend you have like some kind of cloth here to get it wet, although it's kind of dry right now. So whenever you get your soldering iron kind of with some plastic on it, you kind of want to have a wet rag here and just wipe it off, the excess. So I'm burning my towel now because I don't have it wet. I was more worried about getting this video recording right. Here's something I did earlier, and this is just kind of tough to work around. But if you have a trash can like this, you can always, or if something's not recoverable, this is kind of questionable whether it's recoverable or not. If it's not, you could cut out strips of this plastic. You really wouldn't need these fillers. So you could harvest this plastic and use it on other projects, because this is in pretty bad shape, but I'm kind of using this just as demonstration. I don't know. We'll probably keep it, but yeah, that's, I don't know if I can get my hand under there to get that. I think I better move on. Yeah, this was a pretty tough section. Hopefully you can still see it. This kind of refused to meld together, so I'm going to give it another shot at a different point. And the way you do this is you want the tip to kind of go down If it has too much of an angle, it'll kind of do a burnout. So you just kind of want to find what works for you. Here I'm going to go over, kind of clean that up so visually it looks real nice. Push maybe some plastic in there. The thing with that is it makes this area hot, so I have to hold this in order for this to cool down so I can continue to work. But I'm just going to go ahead and, yeah, I'm going to have to, it's still really loose. So I'll just start up here. I usually drill a hole there, but I'm not going to this time. I'll get it after I finish. So you just kind of push it in. You'll get a sense of how far it goes in. And then you can kind of do push some of this plastic over the top, make it look a little nice. Not a big old nasty weld. So that should be okay. So the time it took to do that, that's already solidified or cooled. So now I think I can, if you can see this, it's a little off. So I'm going to push this down a little. Then I'm going to continue on. Since I have both sides worked on, and so I don't have to worry about holding this anymore, it makes this a lot better to work on. It's the first part is just tricky, just getting this to cool, and then it makes this much easier to work on. I don't have to worry about holding it, because if you do, sometimes you'll touch or get close to it, you'll forget what you're doing, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to get burned. I guess I could push a little bit further, but there's plenty of plastic on this. What you got to worry about is the thin plastic. And probably after this, I need to show you how to use the plastic filler rod, because it is different. All right, let me clean this off a little bit. This has been running for like 10 or 15 minutes. And so far it hasn't gotten overly hot, so that's a good thing. All right, let's see how we can you see that? I don't know if you can see that or not. It's right along this edge right here. There's holes. I know this is probably a little too far away. I don't know how I can fix that though. Yeah, I'll have to have it about there. So basically what you do is you just kind of touch the top of this and melt it. So there's a hole here. All you do is just put it over the top and just melt it in. So you put it over, it would melt and it'll stick. And that's what we got here. Let me see if I can get that closer. Yeah, so then you just, once you've got that stuff there, you just melt it in and continue to take little chunks off. Just kind of put it in the hole, put it over top, and that should work. You could put clear plastic on there, or maybe just a strip. Put a strip of plastic over that and then just melt it in. So I think, oh yeah, it comes with a brush and a little stand, which, let me take it out of here. Comes with this little stand, so I just put it in the vise here because it's not very, it'll move around quite a bit, so I need something to kind of hold it. So it doesn't touch any of the stuff. So I'm going to go back to my recycle bin here, and it has cracked about this much. So I kind of put tape around it to, oh, there's already a crack here. That's probably why it continued to crack. There's a loose cold or a stress riser right there. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to go over this bottom half. Kind of fill it up. Hopefully that'll be a strong point. Okay, you can tell it where I kind of messed around and filled that up right there. So let me go over this. And what I'm also doing is kind of pushing it, digging it in and pushing it down. And since this is so hot, you don't really need to have a continuous pressure on the, no, I just made a hole. You don't have to have continuous pressure as you do this, because this gets so hot, you can just push it in, lift it up a little bit, and push it into the next section so you don't get this too hot so it burns through like it almost just did there. There might be different techniques on when you do these top areas. These are just really hard to get at. If you can see, it's right at the stress point, and I think this is where you're going to have most of your problems with the welds coming off again. So you might have to just go from underneath. And just kind of push it together. Yeah, this is, it needs a little bit of filler because it doesn't want to, plastic, the melting of the plastic is just so much, because on this one, the thickness is what, about 0.1, so probably 0.1 inch or almost 1/8 of an inch thick is good for using this on. Anything skinnier, I would probably use just a regular old soldering iron instead of this tip, although I do have one with a smaller triangle for a regular soldering iron. I haven't tried that yet, but so far I really haven't needed it until I came upon that Sterilite see-through bin. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and you can get these, I guess it's made in China. So hope this video was informative, and keep coming back to this channel for more videos.